82 Kings. Strange fruit, blood on the leaves, still lynched by Willie's philosophies. 80s baby, Nintendo and crack economics. Reaganomics, sponsor Iran-Contra. They want us to die in this matrix. Queens in our bloodlines, last days and times. We are the Emmett Smith, the Emmett Till, catching bullets on the field or catching bullets for real. Short tempers plus long clips equal cages and caskets. Bad mathematics, tragic. I never neglect to show my elders respect. They Stevie Wonder to their own blunder, but got 20/20 vision to my sin. Stone casting, the young king forgot his crown. Pants on the ground, might pull him up if you stop pulling him down. Yo, it's Mack Warbuckz, 82 Kings, bar breakdown. OGs Never Fed Us. So let's get into it. Strange fruit, blood on the leaves, still lynched by Willie's philosophies. I'm basically talking about I'm paying homage to Billie Holiday in her song Strange Fruit, which basically speaks about lynching. You know, when black people are getting lynched, specifically after Reconstruction. I mean, it's still going on to this day with the cop killings, but you know, I'm paying homage to her and the anti-lynching movement. And basically saying, when I talked about Willie Lynch, I'm saying how, you know, we still are caught up in the Willie Lynch mindset, which is, you know, the light skin versus dark skin, the male versus the female, the young versus the old. You know, all things that can cause separation amongst ourselves. You know, I want to point that out and highlight that so I can get brothers and sisters to reflect on that and be more conscious of their mindset to try to counteract the bullshit. Because, you know, as a race, we're one. You know, no disrespect to nobody else, but everybody needs to love themselves, love from whence they came, and build as one. You know, and the black man and the black woman are no different. Then I said, 80s baby, Nintendo and crack economics. Reaganomics, sponsor Iran-Contra. They want us to die in this matrix. I'm a product of the 80s. I'm an 80s baby. And we all know Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Atari. Well, not Sega Genesis, but Nintendo, Atari. All that came into play in the 80s with the controllers. And within the context of the 80s, also the crack epidemic came into play too. And during that time, you know, was during the context of the Reagan era as well. And we all know that we all know about the Iran-Contra scandal and basically how, you know, the Reagan administration secured arms for hostages, and once they received these hostages back from the whole Iran-Contra scandal, they needed to get basically money to pay back those people, you know, in the Middle East or whatever, to pay back for those services. And that links to the Sandinista guerrillas in Central America. And pretty much we funded their movement through drug money, because we knew that the Sandinista guerrillas were trying to overthrow the regime that was in Central America. And we know that once they overthrow them, we can implement capitalism, because their government or their political infrastructure was communist. And you know, again, like I said, we use dope money to fund the Sandinista guerrillas. Free Ray Ricky Ross, the real Rick Ross. You know, he was plugged in the middle of all that. He was a scapegoat. So what else did I say? They want us to die in this matrix. Queens in our bloodlines, last days and times. We are the Emmett Smith and Emmett Till, catching bullets on the field and catching bullets for real. I'm basically just saying how we've always, from the time that we got here off the boat during the Middle Passage, we've always been under attack. We've always been under siege. You know, there's always been some type of agenda specifically constructed to keep us separated, to cause division amongst us and to cause us to fall off. You know, so I'm talking about that. And I'm also saying basically how, in the context of that, if we don't have knowledge of self, knowing that we came from royalty, and knowing that not only that we came from royalty, but knowing that we're here for a specific purpose, we can fall off and buy into the propaganda of self-hatred. And let's see, what else did I say? Queens in our bloodlines, last days of time. Yeah. And basically, symbolically, how a lot of times Emmett Smith and Emmett Till, I'm saying how symbolically they either want us on the field making money for them, or they want us dead. You know, short tempers plus long clips equal cages and caskets. Bad mathematics, tragic. I never neglect to show my elders respect. They Stevie Wonder to their own blunder, but got 20/20 vision to my sin. Stone casting. The young king forgot his crown. Pants on the ground might pull him up if you stop pulling him down. I'm basically saying how, again, back to the whole Willie Lynch theory, how there's a distinction between age, how the older generation may look down on the younger generation, and the younger generation may not necessarily take heed to the wisdom of the older generation. You know, in regard to the older generation looking down on the younger generation, I said, you know, they Stevie Wonder to their own blunder, basically saying how they're very familiar with the older generation is familiar with the mistakes of the younger generation, but they're blind to the mistakes they've made themselves. And so there's a lot of judgment going on. And again, this whole track is to not point the finger, but to get us to self-reflect and just try to do better. You know? And that's pretty much what I got for you. Bar breakdown, OGs Never Fed Us. Shout out to the homie Franco on production. Shout out to the Days for the feature. 82 Kings.